The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Start where you are. Have you been wanting to take the first step in the direction of a goal? It could be starting a new business, a career, focusing on your health, or self improvement, or a relationship, or it could be something else. But you've been hesitating because you feel you're not ready. You still need some time or you need something extra before you get started. Well, I'm here to tell you take that first step. No matter how small it seems at this time, no matter how insignificant, take that first step. At this point, just put one foot in front of the other and get started. When we have a mental idea, it's something which is abstract and just sits like an idea in the head. But when we take a step, there's this powerful grounding of energy which happens, and a mental construct gets changed into a physical manifestation. And so, when we have data evidence in front of our eyes, that motivates us, that provides that feedback to the brain where we can see that we have taken a small step, and then we can use that to reinforce that feedback to ourselves, saying that if I've done it once, I can do it again. And we can build on top of that. So take that first step. It's like planting a seed. You plant a seed, you take it slow, you nurture it, and then one day it slowly grows into a tree. So at this point, just get started. Take small steps. At this time, it's too early to think about that end result. By all means, have a vision, have a goal, have an end state in your mind, but don't start comparing the beginning of the journey to that end state, because at this point that gap may seem too wide, and it might put that fear or resistance in us, thinking, how can we do that? It seems so daunting at this time. So have that end state idea, but at the beginning of the journey, do not compare yourselves where you are to that end state. It's too early to think about that. At this time, you're only getting started. And if you're comparing or looking up to certain individuals who have achieved what you would like in that area, don't start comparing yourselves to them. Definitely have role models and people who you look up to. It's actually beneficial because we can learn from those people. We can read about their stories, we can get inspired, we can use tools and tricks and strategies from them and use that on our paths. But don't compare yourselves, because you are just getting started and you're looking at them having achieved what you want. We don't know how their journey has been. We don't know how many hurdles they crossed. So look up to people, use what they have to offer, but don't get into that game of comparison. Do not compare your before to someone's after. So get started on the path. And then when we try to get started, there's this inner voice that comes up, which is full of fear and resistance. And it may sound like, who are you to achieve this? You've tried so many things in the past. We all know how that worked out. So now, why do you think this is going to be any different? And that's all right. We have this self guiding mechanism, we have this inner voice that tries to keep us safe. It's there because of past experiences, childhood trauma, previous bad experiences. social conditioning, cultural conditioning, and there are so many other factors. So this voice is designed to keep us safe. Honor that inner voice, honor that inner critic, but don't be run by it. It's misguided self-love in a way. It wants us not to suffer because in the past we might have done something which did not turn out the way that we thought it would, and then we ended up hurting ourselves. So it tries to keep us safe so that we don't hurt ourselves, but that does not mean we don't even take a step in the direction of our dreams. What's the cost? So talk to your inner voice, negotiate with it, and tell it that, okay, I understand you're trying to keep me safe, but also keep me small, which does not work with how I want to live my life. So take steps, make sure you're safe, make sure you're not biting off more than what you can chew, but move in the direction where you can also make sure you're safe and also move forward. So if I've never been to a gym and I go there and I try to lift 200 pounds, that is something which might be dangerous for me. So if my inner voice tells me I cannot do it in that moment, it's right, I cannot. But then enter a dialogue with your inner voice. Say that, okay, I honor you, but I also gotta move in direction of my dreams. So let's take it slow, take it easy, and do it at a pace where your inner voice also approves of it and you also move forward. One does not have to cancel out the other. So honor that voice, but still make progress. Don't buy into those stories. Don't let those stories own you. We have these narratives that sometimes run at the back of our minds. Like, you failed at this, you failed at that. What makes you think this will be any different? So don't get run by those. And before we start something, the inner resistance or fear is at its peak because it's an unknown, uncharted territory. And fear of the unknown is, we all know about that, it's so big. So that fear is going to be there. There's, even if we keep waiting, there's not going to be a day when we get up in the morning and we feel, okay, today is the day, I'm ready, I'm pumped, and today I'm going to achieve my goal. That will never happen. The life is supposed to be that way. We learn as we go. Babies learn to walk, talk, do other things in lives. That's how life is. We go through life and learn in the process, and that's how we make progress. That's how we grow. So quit that idea of perfectionism. Start where you are. Do a small bit. That helps. That feedback mechanism is very powerful. When we look at people who are making progress in their lives, we feel so inspired. It's not like we look at someone and always think, oh, she's only lost 20 pounds. What's a big deal? I would be celebrating her or applauding her when she loses 50. No, we don't. We see where people are and get inspired by that. Then why do we set such high standards for ourselves? Get started. Celebrate small wins. And we can course correct as we go. So if I did something, it did not work out, I tried, I interviewed for a job, and it was a bust, nothing happened, or I floated an idea, someone rejected it, that's okay. That's still a win because you know that that thing did not work for you. So that's still positive feedback. You can, it was still an action that you took, and you can honor yourself for taking that action. So whether the step was in the right direction or not, it still is a step. You made an effort, and now you know something needs to be done more or not. You can add more, you can take off based on the feedback that you get from yourself, from people around you, from the environment. So start, make a start. For myself, I've been wanting to start my own YouTube channel for a long time, but I've been hesitating. But today is day one for me. I am starting on my journey. What is it gonna be for you? Day one or one day? Get started. Take that first step.